Hey guys, welcome back to Resistance Chicks. We're your hosts, Leah and Michelle. Today is the 26th of July.
I don't think
2019.
And I stop, Michelle. I'm actually seriously stopping. I'm breaking in because I don't think I've ever been more excited to do a show in a long time.
In a long time.
Yeah,
so ever in a long time.
I know. I wanted to be clear. I'm sure there's really more times, but there's so many big things that I have to share with you guys this week. I wanted to go live with you the day of the Mueller testimony. It was the most epic, wonderful thing that has ever happened to this Russiagate conspiracy, to have the author of the Mueller testimony show the world that he didn't write it. And bumble.
That's outside of my purview. I can't speak to that. That's what you kept hearing like 100 times. Like, that's outside my purview. I can't speak to that.
I'm going to hit some highlights here, blow some kind of surprises, but he doesn't know.
That's what we do. It's why we're here.
He doesn't know who. No, I'm going to show you the video of it, where his reaction is he doesn't know who Glenn Simpson is. He doesn't know who GPS is. I'm like, well, either your head is under a rock, you're lying, or you're an Alzheimer patient.
So let me ask you this though, because I've watched a lot of commentary on this since it happened. And some people are throwing out that he was playing.
Well, we'll watch it and we'll see. We'll watch it. And
so you guys can be the judge of that, whether you think it's all an act.
Right.
You know.
But before I get into that, because I want to have everybody kind of who's going to come show up, we're going to kind of talk about William Barr on the other side of it. And we're going to talk about Tulsi Gabbard, who is a wonderful human being. She's on the left. She's more, she's definitely liberal. I don't know if I want to call her socialist, but
a little bit.
She wants Medicare for all and a lot of things like that. But she is a wonderful human being. I wish I could be her friend. And
I would be her friend in real life, absolutely.
As you guys are just showing up, get this. Not only is she suing Google for $50 million because they took away her ability to put ads up for like 6 hours, and I think it was directly after the Democratic debates when she really could have like brought in the dough.
Oh yeah,
and
because she blew all of our minds. Which, by the way, did we miss the second one? Like, when is the second one again?
Tuesday.
That's what I thought. It's coming up. It's really exciting. So we're gonna have, and I would love to promise you, take this with a grain of salt. I want to stream it live this time. I want to watch it with you guys, and then we just have Wednesday to skip to Thursday, and all day Thursday we're going to be bringing you guys interviews and stuff like that from people in line while we're waiting for the Trump rally. So next week is going to be an excellent week. Yeah, I'm really excited about that. So we're kicking it off with Friday's weekly roundup and all this incredible news.
So two of my favorite people here now, Thomas Massie.
Yes, Lord.
Is auditing the Fed, putting a bill forward to audit the Fed, and Tulsi Gabbard is co-sponsoring this bill.
So not only is my girl with my dude, Thomas Massie, trying to audit the Fed, but she's also suing Google and bringing their tech giant corruption to life.
This is what we call bipartisan. This is what we call coming together.
Yeah.
This is real human beings
together
who have differences of opinions on how certain things should be done. I love Tulsi. I think I would want her to be in the Trump administration because the Trump administration is not about right-wing politics. The Trump administration is about truth and about what makes things work. The Trump administration blows out of the water right and left wing because here's the thing. The idea of the elites is to get you in two different corners so that they can herd you in one way and then herd you in another way because they use Republican voters to get things through all the time.
Yeah.
Right? Big spending, military bills, that's their MO.
Mm-hmm.
Because they make more money that way.
Yep.
So they herd you in that way, and they play on your heartstrings there. They play on the left heartstrings with, big bills for illegal immigration and things like that. So what we want to do is not let people play on our heartstrings, but to think straight. So Representative Thomas Massie, my dude, told Luke Rudkowski of We Are Change, a libertarian media organization, that Democrat presidential candidate Tulsi Gabbard has just signed on as a co-sponsor of Audit the Fed bill.
Yes!
This could change the world, officially known as the Federal Reserve Transparency Act of 2019. The bill authorizes the General Accountability Office to perform a full audit of the Fed's conduct of monetary policy, including the Fed's mysterious dealings with Wall Street, central banks, and governments. During the interview, Massey said the latest development in attempting to audit the Federal Reserve is that Gabbard signed on as a co-sponsor.
Yes.
She is an amazing human being, by the way. He believes the topic will get some airtime in the upcoming presidential debate.
I love her so much.
He said there are 4 Democrat co-sponsors and 80 Republican co-sponsors for the bill. It was recently passed in the House of Representatives as it heads to the Senate. Massey said, we have passed it in the House, but have never passed it in the Senate because a lot of these people in the House of Representatives who vote for it and support it in the House go to the Senate and decide it's not such a good idea. Radowski then tells Massey about interesting parallels between some presidential candidates, Gabbard and Bernie Sanders, who have an interventionist view along with being critical of the Federal Reserve. Massey responds by saying, well, if you're just trying to sort of tie the anti-war people to the Federal Reserve, I think the closest connection is the Federal Reserve enables the endless wars that are being funded by controlling the value of our currency. And without the massive borrowing and printing of money and controlling of interest rates, we wouldn't be able to sustain a permanent state of war. Last week, Ron Paul recently wrote that Massey needs to expedite the passage of their audit the Fed legislation should the Federal Reserve decide to disobey the will of its creator Congress by involving itself in real-time payments. After all, their bipartisan legislation came just 7 votes shy of passing not long ago. With the Fed extending its wings even further and the president finally making good on his promise to push the bill through, it should be all but certain of arriving on his Oval Office desk for signing.
That's
With
so
the U.S.
awesome.
infected by a global industrial slowdown and in President Trump's view, a Federal Reserve-caused economic downturn, support for auditing the Fed will continue to increase among Americans across all political ideologies. It's not just Republicans who demand the audit, but now Gabbard and even Sanders. Auditing the Fed is the first step in changing monetary policy that has created the debt and bubble-based economy, promoted the welfare warfare state, created the most massive wealth and inequality crisis in history, led to the affordable housing crisis, transferred all the wealth to the top 1%. And this is where the left and the right should align, because this is what has happened. What the Fed does is really short. I really want to get into the Mueller interview. What's going on?
I don't want you leaning in quite that far to really leaning in. So I moved your computer a little bit closer. No, stop it.
My eyesight.
Then back up, that's what I'm saying.
Then back.
Unbelievable. This is Sisters. If you're just joining, welcome to Resistance Chicks. We've been like this for 35 years.
All right. Yeah. 3 of the best years of my life all by myself.
Wow. Oh my goodness. It wasn't quite 3. It was 2 years and 8 months.
Joke. Funny. Just kidding.
You just moved it back all the way to where it was.
I know. All right. So listen, that's what we need to move the Federal Reserve all the way back to where it was before it started.
It's really just selfish because when you lean forward, you get the focus. The camera focuses on you, and I'm blurry.
Okay. I'll try to. All right. So, what else is Tulsi doing? Tulsi Gabbard is suing Google for $50 million for censoring her campaign. She every time I look at her, because with this gray streak, it's like she's a X-Men character.
No, it really is, and I feel that way about her.
I do too.
I feel definitely X-Men
Democrat presidential
superhero.
candidate Representative Tulsi Gabbard has filed a federal lawsuit against Google for suspending her campaign's advertising account following the first debate in June. Gabbard was the most searched candidate at the time.
Because she drop it like it's hot.
Yes, Google had suspended the campaign's advertising account for 6 hours from June 27th into June 28th, immediately following the debate, while searches for her were trending. The lawsuit was filed in Los Angeles federal court on Thursday. The New York Times reports they are seeking an injunction against Google to prevent them from continuing to meddle in the election and damages of at least $50 million. Google's discriminatory actions against my campaign are reflective of how dangerous their complete dominance over the internet search is, and how the increasing dominance of big tech companies over our public discourse threatens our core American values. And I really feel like we can get the lefty Bernieites on this through this Tulsi thing, so you can see that it will not stop at Alex Jones. It will not stop at Milo Yiannopoulos. It's going to go to people that you actually think are decent human beings as well, but whose side are on the left.
So also, though, I want to speak to why we want to join hands with socialists, essentially, because that's what it seems like we're doing when we talk about the Bernieites.
I think that's because human beings are human beings, and that we always have the that the Bernieites and we have the same goals, but we have a different way of getting there, and we have to be able to sit down as human beings and talk to them. Yeah. I don't want to see poor people poor.
The commercial in the background looks crazy.
I know. I can't make it stop. I'm sorry. This is a toothpaste. Let me finish this, and then I can get past the toothpaste thing. This is a threat for free speech, fair elections, and our democracy, and I intend to fight back on behalf of all Americans. A Google spokesperson told The Hill that the account was suspended due to sudden large spending changes that were detected automatically. We have automated systems that flag unusual activity on all advertising accounts, including large spending changes, in order to prevent fraud and protect our customers. In this case, our system triggered a suspension, and the account was reinstated shortly thereafter.
Oh, whatever.
Her campaign says that they had increased spending because she had become the most searched candidate.
Duh!
The lawsuit also alleges that Google is sending their campaign emails to people's spam folders at a disproportionately high rate compared to other campaigns. Google's arbitrary and capricious treatment of Gabbard's campaign should raise concerns for policymakers everywhere about the company's ability to use its dominance to impact political discourse in a way that interferes with the upcoming 2020 presidential election, the lawsuit says. To this day, Google has not provided a straight answer, let alone a credible one, as to why Tulsi's political speech was silenced when millions of people wanted to hear from her.
Now, so when we're talking about Tulsi Gabbard, and she does have socialist leanings for sure. We're not going to hide that. Okay, it's a fact. However, she is a sound-minded human being that thinks that is the way to help people. Okay, so in that respect, she's just slightly misguided, but she is a solid, very intelligent person. And if you don't want a Democrat candidate that actually can challenge Donald Trump, then you should hate on Tulsi. You should not want her out there. You should want her smothered. You should want Google to go full bore against her, because she is the only person, the only candidate that they have that is real. That is a real human being that has a chance to unify the left and the right.
Andrew Yang's real too.
And okay, but so in my opinion,
he's way out there.
I'm torn, right? Because I don't want Tulsi Gabbard to be president. I want Donald Trump to be president. However, I want her to be given a fair shake. That is what democracy is all about.
I'm not worried about Tulsi Gabbard going up against Trump, because the left does not like her.
No, they won't give her a chance.
They won't give her a chance.
Refuse.
She's a human being, and she would get along well with Trump.
Yeah.
Those debates would be really actually interesting, and I think we'd learn a lot.
Yeah.
So I would love to see her up on those stage. I think it would be finally a debate that would be good for humanity and good for our country. Yeah. And it would be like actually
you know what there wouldn't
watching
be? Mudslinging. From
yeah.
Trump or from Tulsi.
I think you'd be literally going to a game where you admire two teams.
Yeah.
And you enjoy watching the teams play.
Yeah.
And I admire her, and I would love to see her on the debate stage. I'd love to see her go up against Donald Trump, just like anybody wants to see the Bengals play the Steelers or the Patriots or something.
Right.
I think people watch these for a reason. And I think that, in office, she does more good than she does harm. And I really like her. All right. So
anybody that can talk about ending the Fed is my friend.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And
they get
against
anti-war
wars. Right.
I hope you guys have a wonderful, blessed Friday evening. Go read my article and share it. Good night, guys.
It's cold.